What's up guys, it's Sebastian and welcome to my channel. So I wanted to make this video because I made a video about 2 months ago talking about how I was gonna start this channel and film videos, and then I dropped off the face of the earth. So I kind of want to tell the story about what happened, why I disappeared, and yeah. So this actually starts about 10 years ago, believe it or not, but it's relevant, bear with me. I'm hoping to kind of help people out with this story because it's something that I've actually learned happens a lot, and I don't want that to be a thing because it sucks. So back when I was about 10 years old, 10 or 11, I had really bad acid reflux. Now, this runs in my family, so it wasn't a huge surprise. It was just kind of weird that I was getting it so young. So I went to a GI doctor and he basically told me, you're fine, just take some Prevacid and eat less fried foods, eat less citrus, and you'll be fine. It's just a little bit of acid reflux, nothing to worry about. So fast forward about 2 or 3 years probably, and it turns out it wasn't just a little bit of acid reflux. It was really, really bad acid reflux. Bad enough that I had scarring on my vocal cords from the acid reflux going all the way up and down to where my vocal cords were, to the point where I still to this day have pretty much the same symptoms that someone with asthma would have, just because my vocal cords are so scarred that they spasm and trap air in my lungs. So that doctor didn't really check out what was going on and just told me to take some medication and that I'd be fine. So at that point, when I found out what was going on with my vocal cords, I went back to the GI doctor to try to get some help. And once again, I was pretty much told, no, I think you're wrong. The vocal cord thing must be from something else, and you just have a little bit of acid reflux, it's fine. So despite my ear, nose, and throat doctor, who deals with people with scarring causing vocal cord dysfunction all the time and knows exactly what it looks like and what it's from, saying that it was from my acid reflux, the GI doctor refused to really do any more testing and figure out what was going on. At that point, I decided that I was gonna kind of take things into my own hands, and I was about 13 or 14 at the time, and at that age I decided I would stop eating fried foods. I stopped eating anything with gluten, anything with dairy, pretty much anything with soy. And I was also vegetarian for a while. So basically I was eating fruits and vegetables and rice. That's about it. And that actually did help my stomach for a while. I stopped having really bad acid reflux. I stopped having stomach pains when I ate. But I started losing weight. And that was my own fault, but I lost a lot of weight and it was really unhealthy. So eventually I added meat back into my diet, which didn't really cause any worse stomach problems. But I stayed off of the gluten, the dairy, and the soy for quite a while. Another year or two went by. I'm still off of gluten, dairy, and soy, and I was doing pretty well, but I decided to add soy and dairy back into my diet. So I was still off of gluten. Everything was fine. I was doing okay, and then all of a sudden my stomach problems came back. This was about 2 years ago at this point, so I was about 18, 19 years old. I started cutting things out again, so I cut out the dairy, didn't help. Cut out meat, didn't help. And I kind of just gave up at that point. I had gone to another GI around that time, and once again, they would not do any tests. And keep in mind when I'm saying they won't do any tests, this is with a family history of stomach cancer, colon cancer, other esophagus problems like Barrett's disease, where your stomach grows up into your esophagus, which leads to stomach and esophagus cancer, really bad GERD, acid reflux, and the GIs just kind of blew me off. the whole time, and they're like, oh no, nothing's wrong, you just have acid reflux. And so yeah, at that point I kind of just gave up and I started eating like crap. And honestly, it didn't change much because at that point I was having bad stomach pains and nausea every single time I ate, no matter what I ate. If I ate healthy, if I ate fast food, if I ate gluten, dairy, whatever, I felt like crap. So then fast forward again to this year. At the beginning of this year, I was still eating whatever, it didn't really matter because I felt awful, but it was getting worse. I had reached the point where I could really only eat really small meals without getting acid reflux to the point where I would basically be throwing up every single time I ate. Super severe stomach pains and nausea every time I ate. And so I was sick of it. And I went to yet another GI doctor, number 3 or 4, I think. A doctor that was further away, like an hour drive. And he finally decided to start doing some tests. He didn't write me off as just a person with acid reflux, blowing it out of proportion, making it into something that it's not. So he started with an upper endoscopy. That showed that I might have a problem with my stomach emptying. So from there, he did an ultrasound of my upper GI tract and also a stomach emptying study where they give you radioactive material in food and then x-ray you periodically over 4 hours to watch your stomach empty and make sure that everything is moving as it's supposed to. And the stomach emptying test didn't find anything. However, the ultrasound had what could possibly be a strange reading when it came to the arteries leading to my stomach. So, because of that, I had another test. I had a CT scan with contrast. And let me tell you, that contrast stuff is weird. They inject it into your arm and then you basically feel this rush of heat going from your head down your body, and then you feel like you're peeing your pants, even though you really don't have to pee or anything like that. It's weird. And the CT scan finally found basically what's been wrong with me this entire time. So what I had was called celiac stenosis, and what that is the artery that leads to your stomach, the main artery, is called your celiac artery. And there's a bunch of ligaments around there near your diaphragm and along your back. And I had one of those ligaments that was basically completely constricting the main artery that feeds my upper GI tract. And the only way that they can fix that is major surgery. So, the GI doctor that I had been going to, who actually was the one who found this problem, sent me to a cardiovascular surgeon. And the surgeon was super surprised, actually. Celiac stenosis is not a common thing that people find. And usually, get this, people that have celiac stenosis aren't even diagnosed until they reach 50 years old, 60 years old, because every GI doctor blows them off like nothing's wrong and they never find the problem. So I got really lucky that at 20 years old I was able to find a doctor who didn't treat me like an idiot and say everything was in my head and I just had a little bit of acid reflux. And so that doctor pretty much said, you need to have surgery as soon as possible. And that was about 2 months ago. Now you see where it ties in. And so we scheduled the surgery date for a couple weeks from then. I had a couple of things that I needed to do before then. And so I had surgery. So that was fun. That's basically where I've been. I now have about a 7 to 8 inch long incision, like from the bottom of my sternum down to my belly button, because they can't do this surgery laparoscopically because it's too dangerous to get that close to an artery when you can't see what you're doing. And although the doctor that I went to is one of the doctors in this country that does the most celiac stenosis surgeries, he still only does 1 or 2 a year, so I was gonna listen to him with what he wanted to do, and that involved a pretty major surgery. So after that, I was in the hospital for 5 days. I couldn't eat at all for 3 days. I was on a liquid diet for another 2 days, and then the fifth day that I was in the hospital, they gave me one regular meal, and then I was fine to eat pretty much anything that I want. And it's been almost 3 weeks now since I had surgery, and everything is fine. Like, every single time I eat, it's astounding to me that I don't have pain. I don't have nausea. I don't have acid reflux. Like, I'm not throwing up ever. And it's fantastic. And so I kind of wanted to tell you guys what happened, not only to explain why I disappeared, but also to kind of tell people, don't give up. If you know there's something wrong with you, go to other doctors, do research, because you're probably right. That's what I learned here. I've been feeling awful when I eat, and all the time basically, for the past 10 years. And it took me going to doctor after doctor, giving up a few times, going to more doctors to find what was actually wrong and find a doctor who was willing to do the tests needed to treat me and pretty much change my entire life. So yeah, that's I had surgery, but this is also uplifting because now everything is better story for today. I have another video that I actually filmed 2 months ago before I had surgery that I'm gonna go ahead and post just so I have something else to post now instead of waiting until I film something else. But I look different, and that's why I have different hair now. So yeah, look forward to that. Look forward to other new videos. I'm starting tea in a couple of weeks. I actually have a date now, so that's really exciting. I'm gonna do videos involving that, of course, because everybody does. I'm just gonna be stereotypical. So like and comment. Let me know if you've had similar experiences with doctors just writing you off when there was actually something wrong. Also, my social media is going to be linked down below. Go ahead and follow me. I don't post often, not gonna lie. Yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Have a nice day.